All right, we are going to change the subject right now because I want to bring a guest on this morning, and her name is Jacqueline Newman. Sorry for that delay, Jacqueline. You're very welcome. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am absolutely fine. So the reason we asked you on this morning, and I did say we are changing the subject, and we are changing the subject quite dramatically because somebody else that wants to be president is Kanye West. And he and Kim Kardashian are now having very public arguments, apparently, in Wyoming, of all places. And the question we all want to know is what happens if they end up getting divorced? And you are a divorce attorney, so we thought we'd ask you.
Yes, I am. So I think if they end up getting divorced, I mean, obviously, as you can imagine, I'm sure on some level this will play out largely in the press because that's just who these people are. But I imagine there's going to be quite a custody fight because from at least what we're seeing, and obviously, you know, I don't know them very well, but from what I'm seeing, it does seem like Kanye West is really going off the deep end on this. And I'd be very curious to see what ends up happening in terms of what kind of access he'll have with his children.
Right, because if what we're hearing it turns out to be true, he's bipolar. It's a very nasty mental health affliction. We don't wish that on anybody, but if you've got it, you've got it. If you're not controlling it, it's really potentially very serious.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and he's erratic. I think that's part of the concern of it. I mean, you know, if he was in treatment and he was receiving, you know, proper medications if appropriate and kind of doing things to curb his behavior and become less erratic, become more focused, then it would be a different thing. But I don't get the sense that that's what's happening here. It seems that he's just kind of spinning out of control, at least from the media's perspective. And, you know, to her credit, I mean, when Kim Kardashian's seen like the stable parent, that's a sign.
She really does. They were reported as I say, as a meeting in Wyoming, and they could be seen arguing, which is not good at all, really. That they're doing that in public. The erratic behavior is definitely out there, and the fact that he is still running for president, increasingly getting his name on more and more ballots, that's going to interfere with it as well, isn't it, if they file for divorce?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, I see this a little bit more of a stunt than anything else. I don't know if anyone is really taking this overly seriously. That being said, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, even if this was a serious campaign and he was really going to be moving forward with this, then you know, that's also a very hard thing to be a parent. I mean, you're traveling constantly. They're already in the public eye, so I guess you have that. You know, there's security issues, which exist probably for these people anyway. But yeah, no, it's very hard to be a doting parent going through a divorce and running for president at the same time, even if you were in a fine mental state.
So will this be carried out in the glare of the public eye, or will they get to do this behind some closed doors if they end up getting divorced?
I would like to think that they would have the respect for their children to do it behind closed doors. However, you know, if history is any precedent for the future, it doesn't seem that that's how these people are really working things out. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's, you know, people are going to be very, very interested. The tabloids are going to be all over it. So my guess is, you know, even if they try to do it nicely, something's going to leak out. But I'm not sure they're going to try to do it nicely because that just hasn't been their way so far.
Right. We are talking to a New York divorce attorney, Jacqueline Newman, and we bring her on because obviously what is happening with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, and particularly with him, has an effect on the national picture. Because although there's no chance he's going to be president, I'm not suggesting that for a second, but to get your name on a ballot in different states, I mean, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of signatures that you need to make that happen. And so it could have an effect because he is going to get votes from, who knows? Maybe he's going to take them from Joe Biden. Maybe he's going to take them from President Trump. The fact is, in those places where his name is on the ballot, that is a significant issue for the national picture. So if he maintains being on the ballot while all this is going on, does that affect the divorce, if there is one?
I mean, Right. I mean, it affects the divorce only to the point that I think it makes it much more complex. And I think that, again, if he really maintains himself so much in the public eye from a political standpoint, anything private is going to, it's very hard to keep that quiet anyway. And then on top of that, you're going to have constantly people asking him, and they're going to say, one of the questions they'll ask is how, if you became president, how is this going to affect you?
Right.
These are things that are just going to all be relevant.
Jacqueline Newman is a New York divorce attorney. We thank you very much for joining us today. A very interesting take and insight into what's going on. You have a wonderful day. Appreciate you